According to Omar Farouk Ibrahim, the Secretary General of the African Petroleum Producers Organization, Appo, Africa is taking its destiny into its hands to find solutions to the challenges in the oil and gas sector. He asserts that Eximbank and the African Petroleum Producers Organization signed a memorandum of understanding under which they will work together to establish an African Energy Transition Bank. This bank, according to him, will provide funding for the oil and gas industry in Africa, which is under increasing pressure as foreign investment in the sector is withdrawing or becoming subject to strict conditions.
The Africa Energy Bank, when established, hopefully before the end of this year, is going to focus essentially on funding oil and gas projects in the African continent, because the funds have dried. The World Bank and other institutions that used to fund oil and gas projects have now said they are not going to do that. And if anybody is going to fund it, the conditions are so stringent that it doesn't make a lot of sense.
The biggest issues facing the African oil and gas industry are related to financing, technology and market access. Africa is unable to resolve these problems on its own. According to Omar Farouk, the decision to implement the Africa Energy Bank is a clear sign that Africa's view on how to solve their problems have changed. He also maintains that they will not work with partners who are opposed to oil and gas projects in Africa.
We have come together, African oil and gas producing countries, to establish this bank, and we are going to welcome investments from countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, that also have a lot of stake in the development of the oil and gas industry. We are not going to open our doors to those who are against oil and gas at this time, because once you open the doors, you can be sidelined.
There is no doubt that the $3.5 billion East African crude pipeline project was put into jeopardy after some international commercial banks withdrew from funding the construction of the world's longest crude oil pipeline. Ruth Nankabera, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, did not appear to be concerned about external threats. She instead encouraged Ugandans to improve their skills set in order to be ready for opportunities in the oil and gas industry.
So we have trained the people, and I've been calling it self-contained, and we are continuing to train. Yeah, issues of climate, our policies, the East African Vision 2050, the Ugandan Vision 2040, the National Oil Policy, all those capture the issues of climate. If you don't, then you will be you will be attacked by those international civil society organizations that are overzealous when it comes to terms of climate change. But we are prepared as Uganda, because we did not leave any stone untouched.
The Petroleum Authority of Uganda and the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources is doing the right thing by focusing on skilling of Ugandans in order for them to be able to take over those jobs. Because the oil and gas industry is one that is not tolerant of errors, because it's a very highly skilled type of sector that requires high standards.
The government has imposed strict regulations on hiring foreign nationals in an effort to increase the participation of more Ugandans in the oil and gas sector. If there's no Ugandans who is qualified for the position, the permanent secretary will then enable the Ministry of Internal Affairs to grant a foreigner a work permit for a set period of time. Any oil company will be expected to train Ugandans after hiring a foreign worker, so that by the time the work permit expires, there will be Ugandans qualified to take the positions. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.